Hey guys, Jake here, founder of Claws and Webs Productions and the director/writer of our upcoming film, Justice League Silver. This is going to be our take on the Justice League's secret origins and how these 7 characters meet and interact with each other for the very first time. We just released a new trailer, you should check it out right here. The film is coming out in May, I can't wait for you guys to see it. While working on this film, Thomas Day, Tom Broadhurst and myself also wrote 7 prequel scripts, each focusing on the supporting characters of each Justice League member and how their presence in the world has changed the lives of those around them. Now in a perfect world, we would have shot, edited and released these shorts before the film they're supposed to lead into. However, thanks to COVID, conflicting schedules and the fact that I'm getting married this year, sorry ladies, we weren't able to do that. Which is a shame because the 3 of us were really excited about exploring what it means for regular people, and some not so regular people, to be living in a world where gods literally walk among them. And at the same time use that framing device to show how the heroes have introduced themselves to the world and also show what kind of people they really are. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Consider this an elaborate pitch of what these shorts would have been if we had completed them. And maybe what they will be about in the future if there's any fan interest in them beyond this one-man show. Enjoy! So we start with, of course, the one that started it all, the Man of Tomorrow, Action Comics number 101 in the Justice League Watchtower database, Superman. Superman is the first public superhero. Batman's been operating in Gotham for a few months before Superman made himself known to the world, but no one really believes Batman exists, especially in Metropolis. Even in Gotham, he's thought of as more of an urban legend. Superman is real. Superman is someone you can believe in, and he has done everything he can to prove that. He's told everyone that he's an alien, that he's from the planet Krypton, and he came here in a rocket when the planet exploded. He's told everyone that he was raised by humans here on Earth. He's listed all his superpowers, super strength, flight, X-ray vision, heat ray vision, every kind of vision. Short of telling the world that he's Clark Kent, and that he's weak to kryptonite, he has been completely transparent. He wants you to know that he can be trusted. He wants you to know that he's a friend. Now, there are some conspiracy theorists who think Superman is a hoax, something created by the government, maybe a robot, and there are some people, like billionaire industrialist Lex Luthor, whose company LexCorp has built over half of Metropolis, so he basically sees the city as his own personal game of Monopoly. Lex thinks that Superman is a threat to society, and that he must be eliminated. But that's a very small percentage of the population. There's one person that believes in Superman more than anyone, and that person is Lois Lane. Lois Lane is the star reporter of the news publication The Daily Planet, and she became the star reporter through her expose on Superman. That's how Superman told everyone about himself. See, before then, Lois couldn't get her career off the ground. She was way more talented than any journalist in any newspaper, way more determined and way smarter. But because she's a woman, no one would give her the time of day. Not even Lex Luthor. Though he did promise her an exclusive interview if she promised to go away with him for a week. Not gonna happen. So when Superman showed up, no one knew who he was, where he came from, what he was about, and no one knew how to get in contact with him. So when the Daily Planet released I Spent the Night with Superman, an expose by Lois Lane. And Superman didn't give Lois the interview for selfish reasons or because he wanted to give her a win. It's because working alongside her as reporter Clark Kent, he realized she was the only one honest enough and genuine enough to tell his story. Her career blew up. She became a huge celebrity. She's actually more of a celebrity than Superman because she could go on podcasts, she could go on radio shows, TV shows. She could increase her profile. Producers could call her up and say, "Come on I Have Metropolis with John Bates tonight," and she could say yes, it'd be no problem. No one can get in touch with Superman. We find Lois at the Daily Planet, surprise, surprise, and she has writer's block. Stories about Superman mean good business for the Daily Planet, and Perry White, the editor-in-chief, wants Lois to write about Superman because he believes she has an in with him. Problem is, Lois has written about Superman from every angle. She's written about him being an alien, she's written about his feats of heroism, because at this point Superman hasn't really fought any supervillains or people with special powers. He's basically just caught falling planes and stopped bank robberies, that kind of thing. There's nothing else to write about. A photographer, Jimmy Olsen, kind of like the annoying little brother of the Daily Planet, comes bounding up to Lois Lane, full of energy. "Hey Miss Lane, just got my latest awesome pics of Big Blue paychecks, so the drinks are on me." Great, now you just need to be old enough to drink. Jimmy tries to help Lois, suggesting that maybe she could write about what Superman does in his spare time. Lois dismisses this. I mean, nobody wants to know what's normal about the most abnormal man on the planet. But Jimmy believes that people love the super, but they relate to the man. And Lois says, well, when the man does something newsworthy, you can have the front page picture. And Jimmy doesn't say anything. Lois looks up and Jimmy's frozen. He's staring. He doesn't move. And Lois turns up. What are you looking at? She turns. And she slowly stands up. And she, like Jimmy, is frozen, just staring in amazement. Superman is floating on the other side of the window. A little girl from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, or the Metropolis equivalent, is perched on his shoulder. And this is the Daily Planet, and that's Jimmy Olsen, and that's Lois Lane. Want to wave hi? Hi! Jimmy takes a picture of this beautiful moment. Superman flies off into the sky. And Lois smiles. She has her story. Later we see the headline, "A man makes a super wish come true." Jimmy's beaming. Lois smiles. She feels very accomplished. Around the corner, we see Clark Kent, listening to them talking about the story. He smiles. He then adopts his mild-mannered persona and enters the room. Hi, Lois. Hey there, Jimmy. Sup, CK? Well, better late than never, Smallville. Sorry, my head was in the clouds. Gotham is a city in decay. Ever since Thomas and Martha Wayne were murdered by some mugger named Joe Chill, the city has been on life support. It was never a great place to live to begin with. It always had an above-average crime rate, but the Waynes fought for a better Gotham. They built bridges, hospitals, supplied thousands of jobs, and donated millions to charities, and then held lavish parties for said charities and raised even more money and awareness. They made people feel good about living here. After they were murdered, all that goodwill went away. People felt alone, like no one cared. They lost total faith in the Gotham City Police Department. If they can't protect important people like the Waynes, what hope do we have? This allowed the GCPD to become so corrupt that the Commissioner, James Gordon, is constantly on edge, constantly filled with angst, because he never knows when one of his own officers is going to take him out. Because Carmine Falcone or Salvatore Maroni, the heads of the most prolific crime families in Gotham, think he's making too much noise or that he looks too good. James Gordon lives this balancing act of trying to bring down the crime families without them knowing, working with cops who might be on the take while keeping detailed notes of potential dirty cops, and dealing with everyday crime in Gotham, which is constant. Unemployment, violence, drug trafficking, it's all skyrocketed over the past 18 years. The look of the city is grim. Walking down any street makes you want to take a shower. Nobody cares about maintaining the buildings anymore. Nobody cares, period. Gotham is dying. There is one ray of hope. Bruce Wayne has returned to Gotham. Bruce Wayne witnessed the deaths of his parents. It happened right in front of him. He was 8 years old. After that, he disappeared. I mean, who could blame him after seeing something like that? I mean, what does seeing something like that do to a kid? A few months ago, Bruce came back to Gotham, and he promised to carry on his family's legacy. He promised to use his resources, his company, his ridiculous fortune, and he would make people feel good about living in Gotham again. Of course, the rich and powerful scoff at Wayne. Pah! How ridiculous. No one can save Gotham. Why would anyone even try? This place is so far gone, the devil himself has come for it. Oh, you didn't hear? Gotham has demons now. There's a rumor about a creature 10 feet tall, drenched in the night itself, stalking the streets, picking off anyone it deems guilty. All of its victims say the same. The last thing they saw was a giant bat. But these are just rumors, of course they are. Right? At GCPD headquarters, Commissioner Gordon drinks some coffee from his world's greatest dad mug. A birthday present from his daughter Barbara. He hears yelling from one of the interrogation rooms. He swings the door open and tells Detective Harvey Bullock to take a walk before he smashes another thug's face in. A frustrated Bullock storms past him. Gordon sits down opposite the thug in question. A guy named Reggie Zemeckis. They caught Zemeckis on 3 counts of drug possession, 5 counts of assault and battery, and a hefty amount of unpaid parking tickets. Gordon already knows all that. He only has one question. You want to know about the bat, right? It just appeared, no sound, no nothing. And it had wings, goddamn wings. It just kept coming. It wouldn't stop. I couldn't move it. Couldn't scream. So yeah, it's real. Gordon walks out. He tells Bullock to get Reggie to Blackgate, doesn't want him taking up space here any longer than necessary. Bullock says, this isn't going to work. You can't have criminals more afraid of some phantom than actual police. Something has to be done. Gordon walks out onto the roof, pulling up his coat collar. It's pretty cold outside. He says to no one, Zemeckis is close to having a heart attack. And then we hear a voice. I want them to be afraid of me. I agreed to this when it was quiet. Urban myth stuff, but cops won't stand for it if it gets too loud, too messy. The voice assures Gordon that working together, they've done good work. Gordon says that they can bend the rules, but they can't break them for any reason. The voice says that he believes in the law. He believes in Gotham. We see a figure rise up from the rooftops, behind Gordon, staring down at him. The figure is dressed in black, and he wears a mask that points up, almost like bat ears. We can't save it, Commissioner. And then he disappears. Gordon smiles. I believe you. The American military has been put in an interesting situation. One of their pilots, Colonel Steve Trevor, crashed onto an island that they had no maps for, that shouldn't even exist. And even more amazing than this magical island was the population. A race of women. Stronger, faster, more skilled at combat than any soldier. And for some reason, they sent their princess, a woman named Diana, back with Steve Trevor to American shores. When the higher-ups asked her why she was here, she simply said, I want to help. And I want to dispel evil from man's world. The higher-ups were like, okay, don't really understand that, but hey, this is America.
This is America.
We're the greatest country in the world. We're the good guys. And if you want to help the good guys, you'll protect America's interests. So Diana is sent on these covert missions, which is kind of stupid because she's dressed in red, white and blue and she has gold armor. She's very visible while fighting. And they've offered her tactical gear and guns. I mean, they're sending someone into active war zones and her face isn't covered, her arms, her legs. They've offered her protection and she said, she'll be fine. And she is. She has super strength and unmatched fighting skill. She can take out whole armies by herself. She has these metal braces and she can move so fast she can deflect bullets with them. The only weapon she has is a golden lasso that makes people tell the truth. There's no need for interrogation anymore. She walks in, asks the question, gets the information, great, let's go home. Holy cow, where has this woman been all our lives? She can end wars all by herself. This is great! But there are some drawbacks. Diana goes on these covert missions with Steve Trevor because Steve is the only man she trusts. Before he crashed on the island, Steve Trevor was a renowned douchebag. He was a womanizer, he barely followed orders. The only reason the military tolerates him is because he's a great pilot. He might even be the best they have. But he's a guy who knows how good he is. We all know someone insufferable like that. This is a guy who slept with the daughter of the President of the United States. And his only explanation was, well, she'd never seen the inside of a jet before. I mean, what a jerk! And this is the guy? This is the only man that our greatest weapon, and yes, they think of Diana as a weapon, not a person. He is the one she trusts? On top of that, Diana isn't just going to these remote places like Laos and Afghanistan and just following orders. She wants to help, but she wants to help everyone. So if she's sent to rescue a captured US soldier or oversee the signing of a treaty, and she sees a woman being beaten in the middle of the street, she will intervene. And that causes problems for the US government. Diana has come this close to causing an international incident numerous times. Because she helps people, even though it's not the mission. And Steve Trevor gets it in the neck. Because he's a member of the military. Diana's helping the military, but she's not enlisted. She's not a soldier. So when Diana, in the military's mind, screws up, they punish Steve Trevor. Steve Trevor has a meeting with one General Middleton. She's stern, very strict, very old school. She's kind of like Judge Judy, but with longer hair tied up in a bun. Steve is confused because in the orders he received, it said he would be speaking to General Lane, Lois Lane's father. General Middleton says, "Do you have a problem answering to a woman, Colonel Trevor?" And Steve is like, "No, ma'am." He sits down. Middleton wants to know about his most recent mission. A few days ago, Diana and Steve were in the Middle Eastern country, Iraq. They were tasked with getting President Hajavi, an ally of America, out of the country because his life was believed to be in danger from the Bialian Republican Army from the neighbouring country Bialia. As they were leaving with Hajavi, a firefight broke out. Innocent people were about to be caught in the crossfire. Children were going to die. Diana was not about to let that happen, and neither was Steve for that matter. They stopped the firefight, saved the Karakian people, and got Hajavi out. They did it. They saved the day. It's all good. Not to General Middleton. The way she saw it, they put Hajavi's life in danger, almost causing an international incident. Also, Steve and his princess friend could play freedom fighters. Now, this isn't the first time that, in Middleton's estimation, Diana has prioritized the people of other nations before America's interests. That begs the question, is Diana on America's side? Steve doesn't think it's that simple. Diana doesn't prioritize one country over another. Where she comes from, the island of Themyscira, her people, the Amazons, their greatest commodity is truth. Peace. Compassion. That's the whole reason that she came back with Steve Trevor, to show the ways of the Amazons to us. She's forcing her beliefs on us? No, she's not forcing, she's guiding. Steve says that we as a species are not perfect, and he has been a prime example of that. But Diana believes that we can be better. And she has made a believer out of Steve Trevor. And her belief in him has made him a better man. And if that means that they're both branded as threats to national security, well, so be it. Milton says, and we'll be all crowned. A slightly surprised Steve Trevor takes his leave. Milton is alone. She looks up and smirks. She stands up, and as she stands up, she's covered in a swirl of purple smoke. As the smoke dissipates, her true form is revealed. Circe, the all-powerful sorceress from Greek myth, who has a deep history with Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons and mother to Diana. Circe cannot wait to meet her daughter. The only thing less plausible than an invisible island filled with immortal warrior women is an under-the-sea kingdom with super advanced technology and magic wielders. That is the world that Arthur Curry has been living in for the past 2 decades. Arthur was born of the land and sea. His father was human and his mother was Queen Atlanta of Atlantis. And from a very young age, Arthur was raised in his mother's kingdom. You see, Arthur's father died, and then Arthur had to live under the sea. And this is interesting and different from the other prequel stories, because those stories are about normal people having to learn to adapt to abnormal people now living among them. Arthur in Atlantis, he's basically just another Atlantean. Yes, he is of royal blood and he's half human, but no one treats him like a half-breed. These are people that have grown up with Arthur over the years. Arthur finally feels like he belongs. His father was a lighthouse keeper, so his early childhood was very secluded. He had no friend, he spent all his life in the ocean around sea life, and his abilities developed very early on. His father, Tom Curry, tried to help him, but he had no idea what was going on. His son was having conversations with sharks. He was healing sick whales because he knew exactly what was wrong with them. He could swim faster than speedboats, and he could bench press fishing vessels. In Atlantis, Arthur was surrounded by people who shared his respect for the ocean. Arthur spent most of his time growing up in Atlantis with 2 people, Orm, his half-brother, and Mera. Mera's a really cool character. Originally from Zabel, a separate kingdom from Atlantis, she was raised by her father, King Rias, to be a warrior, filled with rage towards their ancient enemy Atlantis. See, there are actually multiple kingdoms, and they all have their different agendas, and they all want power. Think Game of Thrones, but underwater. So Mera was given 2 objectives: befriend the sons of Queen Atlanta, earn their trust, and then kill them. That way, Queen Atlanta has no heirs to the throne, making it that much easier for Zabel to conquer Atlantis. Only problem was, Mera fell hard for Arthur, and Arthur fell hard for her. He was drawn to her fire and passion, and she found a kindness in Arthur that was really alien to her. This is someone, her entire life, all she's known is violence. And here's a guy with deep respect for all life. Land dwellers, sea dwellers, it didn't matter. Their influence on each other was amazing. She taught him how to be confident and assertive, and he showed her that it was okay to let her guard down. It's really sweet. It's almost like they completed each other. Aww. This led to Mera abandoning her father's crusade, but instead of siding with Atlantis over Zabel, she brought them together. She bartered for peace. It took many years, but eventually an alliance was forged, and the 2 warring kingdoms became allies. Soon after, Arthur and Mera were engaged, and Arthur was to become king. But in Atlantis, you're not just given the throne. You have to earn it. Like the labors of Hercules, there are trials you have to complete, and these trials take place all across the 7 seas. Arthur, of course, accepts the challenge and leaves Mera to guard the kingdom. No problem, Mera's just as capable a leader as her future husband, and she might actually be more powerful than him too. She has an ability called hydrokinesis, the power to manipulate water around her, creating tidal waves. Even if she's nowhere near the ocean, she can pluck water molecules from the air and forge weapons from them. She's been teaching this ability to Arthur, and he can forge a sword if he really focuses, but she's been harnessing this power her entire life. So she's like, go, do the challenges to become king, I got this. Now you're probably thinking, I haven't talked much about Prince Orm, Arthur's brother. Good. Arthur's doing the trials, Mera and Orm are holding down the fort. Mera feels powerless, and that's not a feeling she's used to. The man she loves, the man who confide in her, is risking his life, and there's nothing she can do to help. Orm tries to comfort her, and then tries to kiss her. Mera slaps Orm away and berates him for betraying his brother. Orm boils over and seems to indicate that Arthur isn't the good man he appears to be. See, everyone believes that Arthur's father died. That's what Arthur told everyone. That's what Arthur told Mera. Orm says that Arthur's father was murdered. No, he would have told me. Our mother made him promise not to. For his protection. What if Arthur, a 10-year-old kid with strength he didn't know how to use, killed his father? This is just a theory, so Orm begs Mera not to tell anyone. Mera is shaken. Arthur never told Mera that his father was killed. What else isn't he telling her? In his private quarters, Orm tells a mysterious stranger that the seeds have been sown, and Mera's faith in Arthur has been shaken. Tom Curry was murdered, but Orm isn't telling the whole truth, and he's using that to his advantage. Orm and the stranger have a deal. Orm will rule Atlantis, and his friend gets to kill Arthur. Orm says, "Vengeance will soon be yours, Mr. Kane." And the stranger says,
"I go by Black Manta now."
If you've never heard of Middleton, I don't blame you. There's nothing special about it. It's in the middle of nowhere. The only noteworthy thing about it is the crime rate. It's comparable to Gotham in that respect. And even then, Gotham has the Batman, this supposed dark avenger of the night. And now they have some psycho clown calling himself the Joker, taking over TV and threatening to poison the water supply? Middleton has dime store robberies and holdups, like 40s era criminals. It's like the Depression never left. Compared to places like Gotham and Metropolis, Middleton is boring. Boring people, boring criminals, boring police. And it's boring because people do what they're supposed to do. They clock in, they do their job, and they go home. There's a new cop on the Middleton police force, a transfer from Keystone City, and he's shaking things up a little bit. He's doing good police work, but he's doing a lot of good police work, and he's doing it very fast. He's kind of showing up his fellow officers. But as far as anyone can tell, he's doing everything by the book. He's not getting inside information, he's not taking out criminals for rival criminals. There's nothing to indicate he's doing anything illegal. His name is John Jones. A longtime Middleton detective, Sam Slam Bradley, is paired with Jones, and he's very suspicious of his new partner. Slam doesn't believe that Jones is genuine. His personality is that of a comic book character. Every time he talks, it sounds like he's quoting a TV show. Slam has been doing this for a long time, and he knows when someone isn't all they appear to be. We see Slam in his rundown apartment on the east side of town. He's writing an entry in his journal about his questionable new partner and their latest case together. Through a Sam Spade-style narration, we learn that Slam was given a hot tip that Sid the Squid was back in Middleton. Sid is a bad man, and Slam knows him very well. When Slam went to go and find his old enemy, Sid got the drop on him and held him at gunpoint. Before he could pull the trigger, John Jones tackles Sid with the speed of a linebacker. Holding Sid up against a wall, Jones tells him to spill his guts. Slam knows this is pointless, because Sid never cracks. But then all of a sudden, Sid is singing like a canary. He's giving them everything they need. And as Slam looks at his partner, it seems like Jones's eyes are shining red. Back in Slam's apartment, he thinks to himself,
I can't be sure of what I saw, but I'll be keeping a close eye.
At that moment, John Jones walks in the room. Slam says he got him coffee, but it'll be cold by now. Jones picks up the cold cup and drinks from it. Slam is like, coffee is coffee, I guess. He remarks on how Jones always gets a confession, and he asks him outright, what kind of partner is he dealing with? Jones says, I'm not a dirty cop. You want to know what kind of partner you have? The kind that saves your life. Jones leaves and Slam finishes his journal entry. Slam thinks to himself he doesn't know everything about his new partner. But at least now, he knows he can be trusted. Outside the apartment, Jones's eyes are glowing red. He smiles, knowing that Slam trusts him. He can hear his thoughts. There is something different about John Jones. Maybe something not of this earth. The Flash is a phenomenon in Central City. The idea that someone can run so fast that all you see is lightning and dust? That's awesome. The thing is, nobody's gotten a good look at him, so there's no proof. But in a world that has Superman, maybe it's legit. Half the people believe he's real, the other half believe he's something cooked up by the CCPD, you know, to scare criminals. Hey, it worked in Gotham. Their crime rate's going down, and they're so stupid they believe a giant bat is coming for them. Of course, the CCPD has denied this and has discouraged any vigilante activity. Most believers are making a lot of noise online. The Flash has a huge following on social media, and no one is a bigger Flash fan than Wally West. Wally started the first fan appreciation page for The Flash, and today, he has something very special to share. For the past few months, Wally has been interviewing everyone that's come into contact with The Flash, and he's documented their answers on video. What follows is a handheld documentary where people address their experiences with the Scarlet Speedster. People like Police Captain Singh, who Wally blindsides at a diner and asks how it feels to have someone doing his job for him. People like Officers Murphy and Bellows. Bellows has seen the Flash multiple times and is confident he exists. Murphy, on the other hand, compares this hero to Bigfoot and the Abominable Snowman. Murphy also has this weird knack of being nowhere around when Bellows sees the Flash speed by. Coincidence? Wally even gets limited access to renowned criminals like Leonard Snart and Mick Rory, or, as the papers have dubbed them, Captain Cold and Heatwave. We then see a wall of blurry photographs and news clippings as Wally whispers that this is everything his Aunt Iris has collected on the Flash through her job as a photojournalist. Wally is whispering because his aunt doesn't allow him in this room. She, of course, catches him.
I told you can't be in here. What are you doing?
Making a video for Flash fans? Say hi.
Give me that.
No, let go! Let go! Iris pawns her nephew off on the guy she's been seeing for the past few weeks, Barry Allen, a forensic scientist for the Central City Police. Barry seems to have some insight on the Flash. You know how the bad guys think. Try to get in his head. What does the Flash think?
I don't think the Flash thinks, Wally, okay? I think he runs in head first. The only thing he's concerned about is who needs saving. At least, you know, that's what I think.
Well, I think Iris has a crush on him. The biggest badasses known throughout the galaxy are the Green Lantern Corps. They're a peacekeeping force made up of all kinds of alien races, each armed with a ring that can create any weapon imaginable. The Corps was created by the Guardians of the Universe, a race of ultra-intelligent beings as old as the universe itself. The power rings they created from technology so advanced that they appear sentient are fueled by the central power battery on Oa, the Guardians' home planet and HQ of the Corps. If you cross a Green Lantern, good luck. Something has happened, something unprecedented. A human is a Green Lantern. See, when a Lantern dies, their ring seeks out whoever has the most willpower to carry on the Corps' mission. So when Abin Sur, the greatest of the Green Lanterns, crashed on Earth and succumbed to his wounds, his ring went to a test pilot named Hal Jordan. This has not sat well with the rest of the Corps. In the wider galaxy, humans are thought of as primitive and unevolved. They can't even get past their own moon. We fade in to see a group of Green Lanterns playing some kind of space poker. There's a hulking brute with the face of a pig crossed with a bulldog named Kilowog, a finned bird-like creature named Tomar Ray, a beautiful lavender-skinned woman, Lyra, a wolfman, Berea Watt, and what looks like a squirrel, who goes by Badge. All through the game, they talk about Hal Jordan. A human Green Lantern? What are the Guardians thinking? Lyra reminds them that the Guardians didn't choose him. The Ring did. Berea starts going on about all the conspiracy theories he's heard. About a plot against the Corps from an ancient mythic creature of fear named Parallax. Or a robot army the Guardians used before the Corps. or the potential for other Lantern Corps. There's a lot of colours out there than just green. The others mock him before he storms out, leading the conversation back to Jordan.
You know he wears a mask, right? Millions of light years away from his home planet, and this pooser's worried about being recognized.
I can't tell humans apart anyway, like you and your mother.
Hey, I take that with pride. Helga Dolores Wog is a handsome woman.
Kilowog tells them that Sinestro, a legend of the Corps, has taken Jordan to Warworld for his first patrol. They don't hold out much hope for the rookie. At that moment, Sinestro walks in. They all fall silent. Eventually, Kilowog asks the question.
So, how'd he do?
He didn't die. Sinestro walks away, leaving the others to ponder, maybe Hal Jordan won't be the worst Green Lantern. So that's it, guys. 7 pitches for 7 shorts. We had a lot of fun writing these scripts. I had a lot of fun making this video. And there were some great ideas on how we were going to execute these. Some would have been in live action, some were animated, some were audio dramas. If you have any interest in seeing these shorts fully realized someday, or maybe you want to see something entirely different, leave a comment below and let us know. We'll be back with more videos and updates on Justice League Silver in the coming weeks. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you then.